John Coltrane was an American jazz saxophonist. He was born in 1926 in North Carolina, and he studied music and learned various instruments in his youth. In 1945, he joined the Navy, and this was his first big experience as a performer, apparently. He joined a Navy band called the Melody Masters. But despite being very involved, he had to be billed as a guest performer to avoid complications because he was black and the band were officially a white band. However, by the time he left the Navy service in 1946, he was leading the band. He had a long career in jazz sax. He worked with names like Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk. He got into free jazz. So between 1957 and his death in 1967, he led at least 50 recording sessions and guested on many more. Hi, my name's Dan. So this is an album of jazz. And this album, Ole Coltrane, came out. Well, some artists, it takes them a few years between albums to get it perfected. This album came out, was recorded 2 weeks after he recorded his previous album, Africa Brass. I guess the thing with jazz is that because it's meant to be improvised, that you can just rock up to a studio and smash it out if you're good enough. And it would seem that John Coltrane and his friends were good enough for that. So let's see what description we can do. There's 3 long tracks. The first side of the vinyl album is 1 track, and the other side is 2. The title track, which is that first half, which is also my favourite of the 3, is called Ole, and it's got a deliberate Spanish feel. I would say it's kind of got a slight flamenco feel to it, and it's long, but I did enjoy it. There's some interesting stuff going on at times. There's a point in the middle where they've actually got 2 bassists, and there's a point where they're both using bows, and they're creating some quite weird sounds going on with kind of scratchy bonus. But yeah, it's okay. It kind of works. The other 2 are apparently more African. And the third track, which is Aishi, is probably my least favourite of the 3. I felt it was a bit dull compared to the other 2. But generally, it was all right. So I would say that in the main, it has structured backing. It's not necessarily hugely straightforward in the harmonic sense. Apparently, Ole is modal. I still haven't quite got hold of what that really means. I think I know technically what it means, but to be able to spot it, I'm not sure I can do that yet. But there is good structure there that you can hang the rest off, and then the soloing itself is fairly free in terms of wandering around with notes, and that it doesn't quite necessarily go in directions that you might expect, which I think is the point of jazz of this kind. So I reasonably enjoyed it. It has enough structure for me to enjoy it, and it doesn't. It's not too weird and experimental, and it's not too dull either. I found it a somewhat left of centre jazz album. So that's all right. That's what I think. But I'd love to know what you think, so please let me know in the comments below. That's it from me for now.